Hi everybody! Remember when I said I was definitely going to talk about books some more? Haha! If you thought I was fibbing, you're going to find out the hard way that I was not. In 2013, booktuber Ariel Bissett released a 4-part series of videos about her opinions of schools and reading. I'm going to link them in the description. They are awesome videos, and she talks all about how you're taught to read in school affects how you're going to read for the rest of your life. I think it's just, they're well-written, awesome videos, but I have a few things I would like to add. I myself have a long, colorful history with reading because not only were both of my parents teachers, but growing up, I never spent more than 2 years at a time at any given school. I kept hopping around. So I managed to witness a lot of different styles and attempts to get kids to read or literature teaching, and I just feel like I have a few things to say in the conversation of kids and reading. Nothing breaks my heart and wounds my soul more than when I meet someone who says the words, I don't read. It just destroys me inside because reading is so important and connects you in so many ways to all this knowledge and information and wonder, and the fact that people don't incorporate it into their lives regularly is just so sad. Yet I don't blame these people, because when you're in school, you're kind of forced to view reading as a chore. In school, reading is the thing that you have to do that keeps you from doing all the other things that you actually want to do. Reading becomes homework, and who wants to do homework when they don't have to? I don't whip out algebra problems on the weekends. In my experience, I don't think that schools make it a goal to get kids to learn to love reading. Their goal is just to get kids to read stuff. And that's a shame, because how you're introduced to books affects how you're going to view books outside of school. For a long time, as a kid, I myself really wasn't interested in reading because I thought it was something that everyone kept making me do. Something that Ariel touches on in one of her videos are the various methods that elementary school teachers use to try to get kids to read and how they don't work. Hey, did you ever have that teacher that would have the whole class like sit there quietly for silent reading? Yeah, Did you used to stare at the page and daydream like I did? Nobody ever asked me any questions about what I read, so of course I didn't do it. Screw you for making me sit quietly for half an hour and do something that I was told was supposed to be fun. And then there was the people who would just read the book out loud to the class, of hyperactive little kids trying not to noticeably fall asleep. Hey, anything was better than the lazy fuckers who would take you to the library, stand over in the corner and talk to their teacher friends while they expected us all to fuck off for a half an hour. They never actually tried to help us find a book or asked us what other books we liked and recommended similar books to it. They just told us to fuck off around the library, and as long as we left with a book, they didn't care. One time, as a kid, I checked out a book about rocks. Nobody said anything. I didn't read about rocks. I just wanted you to shut up. In all these methods, the key missing ingredient is engagement. There is almost no effort put in to getting kids to genuinely enjoy and love the world of books. No one ever asked me any questions about what I read, not what I thought the story was about, who my favorite character was, if I liked the ending. If I was ever asked any questions at all about books, it was only to prove that I had, in fact, read it. I think that elementary school teachers need to make it a priority to help kids view reading as fun and try to help them learn to find other books that they'd like. I mean, if kids never learn how to find books that they'll like, how are they expected to read them? Now, okay, so this is the foundation that a young person is introduced to when it comes to reading. This is how they're taught to view books and reading assignments. And then they get to middle school or high school, and this happens. Hey, remember that thing that we taught you to view as a total pain in the ass that you would never willingly do? Well, you're gonna get a lot more of that, but harder. And then they wonder why trying to get 15-year-olds to read and comprehend Shakespeare is like trying to nail Jell-O to a tree. They already have this mentality that reading is like pulling teeth, and then we hand them this harder material and expect them to interpret it in the way that the teacher determines is the correct way to be interpreted. Another thing that Ariel mentions in her videos is that in high school, they tend to pick a lot of books that teenagers can't relate to at all, and if they can't connect with what they're reading, that just makes everything so much harder. Now, I know that classics are really, really important, but if you can't try to balance out what teenagers are reading, it's almost in vain to try to get them to understand harder material. One thing that Ariel brings up is trying to include more young adult books into the reading curriculum in high school, and I think that's a great idea. I think that in trying to include more young adult books into high school curriculums will help teenagers get interested and invested in what they're reading. The Book Thief, The Hunger Games, The Uglies, The Fault in Our Stars, those are just a few really intelligent YA books that, if mixed into the curriculum, could help really captivate high school audiences. Hey, there already are some books that are considered young adult in many high school curriculums, like The Giver, To Kill a Mockingbird, The Boy in the Striped Pajamas. Why not try to throw some more recent young adult in between Steinbeck's, why don't you? Another thing I'd like to point out is that a lot of the required reading in high school are books written by white men. There are entire sections of American history that the average American knows nothing about because we're not hearing the stories of people of color. Most of the literary canon consists of white authors that other white men thought were important, and oh my god, I need some water to wash down all these crackers. Okay, so a person goes from not being engaged with reading as a child to reading being taught like a complete chore in high school, and then when they get outside of school, they turn into adults who say, I don't read. As we grow up, we spend more time at school than we do at home. And a school education, at least in my country, is something that we're all required to get. So why not use that time to be able to foster a love of learning and a love of education and exploring, and basically try to help people enjoy getting smarter. Now, like I said in the beginning, both of my parents are teachers, so even though it sounded like I just went on a whole spiel like schools ruin reading, I'd like to make it clear that I am not necessarily blaming teachers for this. Teachers are not all lazy assholes who don't bother to teach. As a matter of fact, I live in New Jersey, where we're having a lot of problems with a governor who keeps treating teachers like lazy assholes who don't bother to teach, so they cut the education, and it's just a hot mess express, and I'm not even going to go into it, but girl. It isn't fundamentally teachers' fault for this. I think that it's a collective problem that we all have in our culture, that there isn't really a necessity to make learning fun. We do not see it as a priority to focus on having education be something that can enrich your life and experience. It's more like just something that you have to get or else. I think we need to make it a priority to make learning be something that could fulfill you and carry you on throughout your whole life, and something that is an amazing thing to experience, rather than just stuff that you have to get out of the way and you're in trouble if you don't pass. Books should not be viewed as benchmarks of finishing a school year, and should be viewed as experiences to help make your life better. We'll learn so many more stories, see so many other points of views, and get better connected to each other and our past and hopefully our future if we can do this. I think that people who end up not including literature in their lives are missing out on opportunities to be able to grow and communicate and experience other humans. I just think that it's a shame that we don't make it crucially important to have kids excited about reading and learning. That we don't make education and science something that is enriching. Perhaps this is just the ramblings of someone who has both parents in the education system and is herself a total incomplete Nerdosaurus Rex, but I just think that if we make a little bit more effort to try to get people invested in learning and in experiencing the world around them, I think that it'll be a heck of a lot easier for us to understand each other and to connect more. So I hope that you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to check out Ariel Bissett's video series on reading in school. Please feel free to leave any comments below. I know that this might be a discussion topic for some people, but always remember to use your internet manners. Please like this video if you liked it, subscribe if that's your thing, and send this video to everyone you know saying that if they don't share it in 7 days, someone will die.